What is going on, everybody? Floopy Donkey, and we are getting ready to find out what happens if Carson Wentz goes to the Indianapolis Colts. And I'm interested to see what's going to happen here. I'm very curious on the career of Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts, but we're going to focus on Carson Wentz here. I went ahead and made the trade. We're going to jump to that so that you can see what all got involved in that trade. And remember that Madden trades are kind of sketchy. They need to work on that, but we all know that. But let's switch over to that screen. All right, so Carson Wentz is being sent to the Indianapolis Colts. I got the notification this morning that the Colts are interested in possibly bringing in Carson Wentz, which is a good fit because Phillip Rivers is probably done at the end of the season. That also came out earlier this week. It looks like that is possibly going to happen. So Carson Wentz, Fletcher Cox, and Brandon Graham go over to the Colts, and the Colts get a first-round pick. And the Eagles get a first-round pick, Kari Willis, safety, and a fourth-round draft pick. Now, you might think, let's keep in mind that Madden's trade system is completely broke, so I had to kind of make some things happen, but to kind of make this somewhat digestible, the Eagles they're in terrible cap space, so getting rid of Fletcher Cox and Carson Wentz on those big contracts are going to help them. And then the Colts need a end piece, so getting a kind of a veteran player there. So the Colts defensive line is going to be pretty good, and their defense is already decent, but we'll have to fill that void left behind by getting rid of Willis. But let's get into this offseason. We got to get some players to surround Carson Wentz, and I'm interested in seeing exactly what is going to happen out of Carson Wentz. I personally don't think he's done. Let's see what happens here. All right, here we are already in the second week of offseason, and you see that they signed Colin Kaepernick. So unfortunately for him, he's not going to play because we're gonna put Carson Wentz in here and figure out how that's going to work. Contract rejected. We didn't get Juju Smith-Schuster. We did get okay. All right. We got Devondre Campbell. Not a lot there. Let's see who else we could sign maybe to help this team. Oh, we can't. We got negative $16 million in cap space. Now, we took on those contracts of Fletcher Cox and Ingram to kind of help the defense, and we had the cap space available, but that also was the only way that we could get the trade to go through because the Eagles were in such cap space hell, so to speak. So I'm going to do some scouting. We're going to go straight into the draft and see who we can build around or put around Carson Wentz to maybe get this dude a Super Bowl. He has just been given the shaft by Philadelphia, maybe rightly so. I guess we'll never really know unless he proves himself on a new team, which might be the Colts. All right, so let's take a look at this roster. Obviously, we've got Carson Wentz starting under center, Nyheim Hines, Jonathan Taylor here. Pretty good, stable, young running backs. I really like those. The wide receivers, T.Y. Hilton was a beast with Andrew Luck, and he's just kind of been ho-hum here lately, but he has also been battling having a plethora of quarterbacks to work with. But this offensive line is awesome. We start off with Anthony Costanzo, obviously Ryan Kelly, one of the better centers in the league. I mean, look at Quentin Nelson's here, superstar left guard. I mean, this is a really good line to build around, and something that Andrew Luck wished he would have had early on, and they kind of a little too late for him with all his injuries. But other than that, Trey Burton, tight end, that's decent tight end there who can stretch the field a little bit. But wide receivers is really where we need to get some help for Carson Wentz. He's leaving from a terrible wide receiver situation with Alshon Jeffrey, Deshaun Jackson getting hurt all the time, not having anybody to throw to. Now he's coming to the Colts with T.Y. Hilton's really good, but he doesn't have anyone else. We're going to have to look at getting him somewhere there. We got Justin Blackmon in the backfield. Now, we also need to fill in that strong safety role. We got rid of the starting safety, and we had to trade him. But, guys, this defensive line looks pretty good. I don't know what happened to Fletcher Cox. Did he retire? Maybe he did, but not really sure. Oh, I'm an idiot. So here's Fletcher Cox in the depth chart rosters, and Brandon Ingram is there as well. I don't really know what why we weren't able to see them. Maybe I was just overlooking them. But there's Brandon Ingram and there's Fletcher Cox. So we both have them. They weren't showing up in the depth chart. Maybe I was overlooking them. But we're going to try to fill some spots here and in the draft, because that's really all we can do. All right, so we gave away our first round draft pick to get Carson Wentz, and then the computer turned around and drafts Colin Kaepernick, although he is a better overall in Madden. So let's make our selections, see who is left, and I think we're going to have to go with, now I wasn't able to draft or scout a lot of players because we got this already in the last week of the regular season. I started this in the last week to keep all the stats and records and all that good stuff the same. So we're going to go ahead and draft probably someone to fill this safety role that we've got a hole in, and we're going to move on from there. All right, I made a terrible decision. We actually drafted a wide receiver because there are so many safeties available, and I didn't scout any of these players. Remember, I wasn't able to do that, and this is why you never pick someone you don't scout. So we're trying to get some Carson Wentz some help, and it didn't work out. Bad decision by me. All right, so we ended up drafting Caden Stearns, and he does have a hidden development trait. This year is going to be pretty rough because we gave away all those early draft picks, and because I wasn't able to scout anybody because we started so late in the regular season. But hidden development trait, maybe he's going to start. He's going to start. I mean, he's got to be our starting safety unless the computer goes out and CPU makes their own selections. But other than that, I think we're going to go ahead and simulate the rest of this draft and move on to the regular season. All right, so here's our draft recap, and really we didn't do a whole lot. We could have, I think we could have done better. A lot of 60s in there, but it is what it is. We're going to advance this to the regular season. I'm going to make a few rosters adjustments, probably switch up the depth chart. Anything specific, I'll let you know. But we're going to keep on moving this train along and seeing what Carson Wentz does with the Indianapolis Colts. All right, guys, start of week 1 to the 2021 season. And I forgot that Marlon Mack was hurt along with Malik Hooker. So we've got both of those then. And what I did was I moved Blackman, not Justin Blackman, but Julian Blackman over to strong safety. So the team's looking pretty good. This defensive line is pretty stout. I mean, Graham, Buckner, Fletcher Cox. I moved Stewart over to right end to help out with that. And I think we're decent. The only thing that I'm worried about with this team is obviously wide receivers. But we've got T.Y. Hilton mentoring Campbell, so maybe something good will come out of that. And we're going to go ahead and see what the future holds for the new look Colts with Carson Wentz under center. All right, so we're 4-3. Not what I was hoping, and we're actually at the bottom of the AFC South. Check that out. I mean, the Titans are 5-2, the Texans are 5-2, and the Jaguars are 5-3. How are they 5-3? Let's look at the team. I'm sure they've got Trevor Lawrence, though. But, hey, Carson Wentz, 17 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. That's a pretty daggone good. The completion percentage could be a little bit better, but, you know, I'm pretty happy with the running backs, though. Naheem Hines and Marlon Mack are not doing anything. We're not running the ball at all. That's not good. Paris Campbell is doing fantastic. Trey Burton's getting a lot of love. So maybe we need to run the ball a little bit more. Maybe we need to switch that game plan or the scheme up a little bit to help out with that. Kenny Moore leading in tackles. Right behind him is Darius Leonard, actually tied in tackles. Just that Kenny Moore actually has more solo tackles. Fletcher Cox coming in with 5 sacks. So that's a good pickup. We got him over. Probably end up with double-digit sacks on the season. And Darius Leonard, Rocky Sin have 2 interceptions apiece. Now, offense, we're 27th in the NFL. Defense, we're 13th. So, I mean, our stats reflect our record. I mean, we're 4-3 and we're very average. But I am interested in seeing what the Jaguars have that is keeping them afloat here. And it's got to be, I went all the way around this. Should just win. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence, 15 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Yeah, 82 overall, X Factor. Obviously doing a heck of a job. James Robinson's doing decent, not that very well. But let's look at our contracts. Do we have anybody that we want to potentially re-sign? Darius Leonard, 26 overall. We definitely want to keep him. Definitely want to keep him going. We've got the space to get him, so let's go ahead and sign him for 5 years. Let's see if he'll take a 4-year deal. That offer is just poor, so we'll have to catch him on the next one. Braden Smith, we're definitely going to re-sign him. Let's give him 4 years. I'm totally cool with that. Brandon Graham, we're not going to re-sign. Just too much, too old. It's star. He's going to get hit pretty hard. Development trait. Anthony Costanzo, 33 years old. No, I don't think we re-sign. We're not re-signing Colin Kaepernick. We're probably not going to re-sign Naheem Hines because we still got Marlon Mack available for us. And everyone else, I think we just kind of let ride. So I think the only ones that we need to focus on, obviously, is Darius Leonard. And let's hope that this Colts team gets to the playoffs. All right, so we made the playoffs, 9-7, going up against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. So you see that some of the other teams fell off, and we just beat the Jaguars. We must have won the head-to-head against them. So that's good to see. And let's check out these stats. 9-7. That's, well, we were 4-3, so we finished 5-4. So really, we kind of kept middle of the pack there. Defense, we were second in NFL in defensive yards. That's pretty good. 11th in points scored. We'll come back and catch the offensive yards. So Carson Wentz, 36 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. That's 63 completion percentage. That's really good. Now, Marlon Mack and Naheem Hines both had 500 yards, almost 600 yards from Marlon Mack, but we're getting rid of Hines. We're not going to re-sign him. But it was kind of all three had carries. Taylor did, Hines, and Marlon Mack. Paris Campbell ended up finishing with 1,200 yards receiving. Trey Burton had 13 touchdowns. That's pretty daggone good, I must admit. Darius Leonard, of course, led the way with that. DeForest Buckner, 9 sacks. Fletcher Cox, 8.5. So he didn't finish off as strong as we thought he would. Brandon Graham did have 7.5. So them two alone really helped out the defensive team. So I think that was a good trade that we got from the Eagles. And Rocky Sin had 3 interceptions on the day. Offensive yards was 23 overall. And I think a lot of that probably has to do with us not running the ball at all. So it looks like Drew Brees is going to get the MVP. And I don't see... I'm really surprised that Carson Wentz is not on there. Do we have anybody here? We've got Caden Stearns for Defensive Rookie of the Year, but he finished 6th overall. So really nothing there. Paris Campbell didn't even get Best Wide Receiver. Tyler Boyd, you got that. We had a few close calls. 9-7, you're not going to get a lot of love. But let's see what happens in the playoffs. All right, so we get blown out 28-7. Wow, by the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, of course, those 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Carson Wentz, 1 interception, but 1 passing touchdown. Clyde Edwards-Helaire was running the ball like crazy. Marlon Mack did okay. We just didn't run the ball a lot. I think we changed up the scheme a little bit there. McCole Hardman did pretty good, but Carson Wentz is doing well. And this is more about Carson Wentz seeing what he can do, and he's already proven that he was a good pickup for the Colts. So, you know, that's pretty good. They bring him in, they get to the playoffs, but he do lose with Carson Wentz, and he kind of has a lackluster playoff run. But running them against Patrick Mahomes, what can you do? Tough AFC with Lamar Jackson, Cam Newton, who is like a beast in Madden. Patrick Mahomes, so I mean it's tough. All right, so Anthony Costanzo ends up retiring after 11 years, so us not re-signing him really didn't matter because he was retiring anyways. We've got a few people that we could re-sign. Like I said, Brandon Graham, I don't think we're going to re-sign. Naheem Hines, no. 80 overall though at 25, 93 speed. I mean that's pretty good, but we already have Taylor and Marlon Mack. I just don't really see the need of doing that. We're going to go ahead and advance and see who we can pick up in free agency. And then we're going to get into this draft, maybe get some wide receivers and change the scheme up. And maybe we can get a little bit more of a running game for Carson Wentz, because that seemed to be what was missing last year. All right, guys, so we ended up refilling some holes in the offensive line. We get Orlando Brown Jr., big re-signing there. And then we also get Mark Glowinski, good defensive or right guard. Been around in the league for a while, so good pickups there. JJ Watt was there, and I was going to try to get him, but of course, cap space kind of looking a little thin because we took on, of course, Fletcher Cox, and Carson Wentz for those big contracts. But I think that's pretty good. We filled up the offensive line. Now the only thing we really need to look at potentially doing, and I might move over Greg Stewart and make him a defensive end permanently. Go ahead and change his position, because we've got Fletcher Cox here and DeForest Buckner. We really don't need any. We don't need him, just sitting behind them not doing anything. And then other than that, I think we're pretty good. If we can find another defensive end spot, we're going to look at that in the draft. I think we'll be all set. All right, we are going to draft Stephen Horn out of Texas A&M. Deep threat, 75 overall, and already a really good slot guy for us. He's got that deep threat ability, and 7 overall in true value. You can't beat that. That was a good pickup. We got Carson Wentz some help. But we really need to go after a defensive end in this next round. So let's see if we can't pick somebody that's going to help this defense out, solidify them again as one of the top defenses in the league. And we drafted a pretty daggone good one, or scouted, a pretty daggone good one that had a 3rd round grade on him. Noah Strickland right here, mid 1st round overall grade. We're going to get him in the 2nd round, 73 overall. It's decent. Normal development trait. He's a power rusher, but at least we've got that spot filled. We've got a rookie in at left end. I'm not upset with it. And we're going to continue to see who we can pick up in the draft and get these Colts into the playoffs again. All right, here is our draft recap. Stephen Horn, number 1 pick, 75 overall. We go with Noah Strickland, left end, out of South Carolina, 73 overall. Then we go right back behind him, get another defensive end, a speed rusher, Deontay Nolan. Now, Henry Noel, we got interesting here because he has a hidden development trait, and he was number 1 in his draft class in the 40-yard dash. So the dude is quick, 93. And I mean number 1 as a corner. So he's got speed, but his man coverage is god-awful. Look at that, it's 58. So he's got some development to do. But I think he can get it done. We're going to put him in and have him in some maybe some slot positions potentially. I don't know. But we'll see. I think that was a good draft. And I think it's a bright future for the Colts. All right, so let's go over this roster for year 2 with Carson Wentz under. So Carson Wentz actually went up to development points. Marlon Mack is still holding it down in the backfield. We moved Campbell over to wide receiver number 1. T.O. Hilton is actually going to be playing slot. And then Shu Horn is going to come in and be, when we're running 3 wide receiver sets, he's actually going to be number 2, wide receiver number 2. The line is all the same. So we've got Smith, Lewinsky, Ryan Kelly, Quentin Nelson, and of course our big signing, Orlando Brown Jr. there, star development trait. On the defense, I did make a few switches. We did move Greg Stewart over to right end, and I did move Blackman over to strong safety. Now, this was all the same last year. I actually just officially switched their positions, but everybody else is the same. And I think that this team is going to be pretty good. I feel confident with it. I think we can do something in the division. Now, this is a tough division here, especially with Trevor Lawrence holding it down for the Jags. We got Deshaun Watson, of course, Big King Henry for the Titans. So that always makes things difficult. But let's see what happens midseason. All right, so we are atop the AFC South with a 4-4 record. So we're not really in a comfortable situation. We just lost to the Chiefs, it looks like, in week 8. So got beat with them in the playoffs last year, and then we come back and get smacked by them again in the regular season. So that's a hurdle that Carson Wentz is going to have to get over. So offensive yards, 10th in the NFL. That's good. That's progress. I like to see that because if we didn't make changes, I was definitely going to change the scheme up. But you see defensive yards, we were actually 23rd. Points scored is only 30th. That's not good. Now points allowed is 14. So it's kind of like it's kind of very weird. Our offensive yards is good, but our points aren't. Our defensive yards are terrible, but the points are good. So that means our defense is kind of like a bend but don't break. They take people down the field, but we don't give up points. And our offense is the exact opposite. We can pick up yards, but we can't convert them into touchdowns. Now, Carson Wentz only has 11 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. So definitely that's the issue this season, is that he's throwing a crap ton of interceptions. So not good for him. Marlon Mack is running the ball a little bit better. That's good to see. T.Y. Hilton is leading it. Paris Campbell we moved him over and he's not doing that well. But T.Y. Hilton's thriving. Shoehorn's doing okay. We really would like to see him do a little bit more, especially with him being our first round draft pick. But what can you do? Sacks going. There we go. Fletcher Cox again coming through with 7. So he almost got double digits halfway through the season. And yeah, it's good to see. Maybe this team we've got a big one. We've got a bye week this week. We got the Titans coming up. So let's see if we can make the playoffs. All right, we do need to re-sign some people. Quentin Nelson is most definitely going to get re-signed here. I mean, come on. I mean, why would you not re-sign the best left guard in the league? I'm going to go ahead and stack that contract a little bit. Give him a little bit more than he's asking. We're going to go ahead and Bobby Kiriki? I can never say his last name correct. I think we go ahead and re-sign him as well. Now he wants a 5-year deal. That's a bit much. That is a bit much. We're not going to sign Mark Lewinsky. Paris Campbell, I think we go ahead and re-sign. Let's get him brought in for another 3 years. I know we want him. Rodrigo Blankenship. Man, look at that profile pic. That's a beauty. That's a beauty. He's actually a lot more handsome in the game than he is in that profile pic. But ratings, he's got the kick power. He's a fan favorite for sure. Let's sign him. Let's re-sign him. Not a big deal. Jack Doyle, we're not going to re-sign. And I think that's it. So really, do we re-sign? Now, Rocky Sin was a 3-year deal. I really would like to get both of these. I don't think we re-sign Fletcher Cox. We still got DeForest Buckner. I think we go ahead and do it. We're going to try to win the Super Bowl here with Carson Wentz. So let's see if we can't keep a lot of these players in. We got them re-signed. I'm going to hold off on Fletcher Cox. We'll see what happens at the end of the season. If he can get us a big sack here, then maybe we re-sign him. All right, guys. So we missed the playoffs at 7-9. And we were 1 game away from getting it 7. Look at this. AFC South 8-8, 7-9, 7-9, 6-10. Not very good at all. What was the problem? Let's look at these stats. Figure out if we can. So offensive yards 9th in the NFL. So offense was pretty good. Offense was pretty good. Defensive yards 4th. So it had to be turnovers. Points scored again only 25th. So we're not converting. Points allowed, yeah, we're not. It was just really the offense. We're not converting points. Carson Wentz throws 20 interceptions. So that's definitely not good. That's the problem. We would have made the playoffs. Probably been a good seed. We went for 20 interceptions. That's never going to get it done. Marlon Mack had a decent year. 4 yards a clip. That's okay. That's okay. We can live with that. He just didn't get a lot of running opportunities. T.Y. Hilton had a decent year. 15 touchdowns, almost 1,200 yards receiving. Shoehorn had a decent year. 700 yards for a rookie. We really would like to get him to 1,000, but playing out of the slot, that's pretty good, and he only got 1 touchdown though. So maybe he'll he did increase 1, so that's good to see, but he does just have a regular development trade, so that sucks in itself. And let's see, what did Fletcher Cox get us now? 12.5 sacks, guys. 12.5 sacks. Do you think it's worth re-signing him for another year? We've got, of course, Buckner did good. Grover Stewart didn't really do a whole lot, but he's a power rusher. Our rookie, Noah Strickland, had 4.5, so not a whole lot there. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about what we should do. as far as re-signing guys. All right, so we got the Browns and the Packers, and guys, in every sim I do, I swear the Browns are in the Super Bowl. Just check some of my other videos. I say the same thing. It's absolutely ridiculous that they're always in there. Nick Foles is league MVP. Holy crap. And Lucas Hughes. So I'm guessing Baker Mayfield's gone. Yeah, he's with the Eagles. The Eagles traded for or got rid of Carson Wentz to sign Baker Mayfield. That's interesting. All right, so T.Y. Hilton did win best wide receiver. Quentin Nelson got best offensive line, so that's good to see. We had a few players in there that were touted as the best in their position. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Shoehorn finished 5th, right behind Lucas Hughes, who obviously is in the Super Bowl at quarterback position. And does he win it? Yes, he does. The Browns win the Super Bowl. Holy crap. All right, so retirements. Do we have anybody to retire? Aaron Rodgers does retire. Patrick Chung, Gerald McCoy. I feel like Gerald McCoy has been around forever. Let's go to our team, the Colts, and nobody has retired. So that leaves us with the age-old question: do we re-sign Fletcher Cox? Now he just wants a 1-year deal, and I think we could. I mean, he's still in 96 overall, guys. I think we entertain that. We've got the space. No, we don't. We don't have the space for it, so we can't re-sign him. I don't. That settles it. We don't even have the space to re-sign him. And there's nobody else really that was important, so we're gonna have to let him go. Unfortunately, that's gonna be a big free agent signing right there. All right, so we had no cap space to re-sign anybody in free agency, and we've got a few positions to fill here. I wrote them down. We need to get a defensive tackle and a tight end. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on if they are available. If not, we'll just choose the best player available. BPA, as a lot of people like to say, and see who we get. All right, here we are, 17th pick. Let's see who, and I just made the CPU do all our scouting. So, you know, of course, they're going to scout like running backs. I don't know why we're even scouting running backs currently. But let's see who we have available that we scouted. All right, guys, I know I said running backs were stupid, but I am drafting Josh Golston out of Penn State. So maybe Saquon Barkley, but 77 overall. Now, he was 5th in true value at 77. So there's probably some good people in this draft, but he also has that hidden development trait that's huge. He's going to be our starting running back from the word go. We might try to go ahead and trade some people and get them, maybe get some draft picks, those types of things, but I'll show that later. But let's continue our draft. And I know I said I wasn't going to do it, but I did it anyways to bite me. All right, so I'm taking Daniel Pritchett out of Michigan, 74 overall. And he was the best player that we had available. I'm going to try to go after a corner in this next round. All right, we do have a first-round draft grade on Travis Bond. And because we got rid of Fletcher Cox, we're going to pick him up 71 overall. He's got a first-round draft grade? What? Okay, whatever. All right, guys, best draft yet, if you ask me. I mean, check out these. We got a 77 overall running back. Left end 74. We got 2 defensive tackles, 71. We got a backup quarterback just so we don't have to keep trying to re-sign somebody. And of course, we've got Braden Parker, fullback. We needed that at a 70 overall in the 6th round. That's a steal any way you look at it. So that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. I think we probably going to have to trade some people. And by people, I mean probably Nyheim Hines. We'll probably have to get rid of him. I'm sorry, Marlon Mack, and see what happens. See if we're able to pick up maybe a draft pick or maybe a young talented player. I don't know. It'll be tough to trade him for somebody decent, but we'll see. All right, so this is probably the best thing I was able to find. Nobody in the NFL needed a running back at this time, but Marlon Mack is now going to take over duties from Sony Michel, and we picked up Daniel Keene, who is a 73 overall, but he's only 24 years old, so maybe he can develop a little bit and we get a 4th round draft pick. But even better than that, we do get some cap room space, which is huge for us. All right, guys, here we are, the team week or season 3 year 3, and the team really we haven't had really that much regression. So doing pretty daggone good, if I do say so myself. Offensive line still pretty good. Anderson, you know, he's developing decently. He's developing decently. Horn is now our number 2 wide receiver full time. And we've got T.Y. Hilton playing the slot. Golston, our new running back, rookie running back, is going to be starting. So we've got some young pieces on the offensive line. Defense, still looking pretty stout. I'm liking our defense. I think it's pretty strong. Defensive line is, you know, it has regressed a little bit. We still got DeForest Buckner, but I still feel good. All right, we changed the defensive scheme to a 4-6, which is fits a lot of the personnel a lot better. So we're going to fast forward the midseason. I'm feeling good about this one. All right, here we go. We're 5-2. So definitely our best year to date. Carson Wentz has thrown 10 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, but he's completing at a higher percentage, but he's really not doing a whole lot there. We're not running the ball a lot either. So it's got to be the defense, right? It's got to be the defense. Stephen Horn there, 368 yards through there, but catching, and he has 3 touchdowns. Let's check out this defense. Devondre Campbell is leading. And where is Darius Leonard? Just not doing a whole lot there. Sacks, not a lot of sacks. How are we 5-2? Offensive yards were 19th in the NFL. Let's see, defensive yards were 3rd. So defensive yards were 3rd in the NFL. So this new scheme seems to be working out. Points scored is only 24th. We definitely could do with changing that. Points allowed on the defense is 14th. So very interesting there. Carson Wentz has had one good season. This is his 3rd season. So maybe it wasn't a good pickup for the Colts. But they have made the playoffs the first season last year. They were 7-9. They just missed it by 1 game. But 5-2, you'd like to think that they are going to get in. As long as they finish strong. So let's check out who we can potentially re-sign. Julian Blackman, I think we go ahead and we will re-sign you for sure. 83 overall, you're still young. We'll go ahead and get you signed up. Grover Stewart, we're not going to sign. 29, 80 overall, right in. He was a defensive tackle, so he's probably not even doing, well, we know he's not doing what he was supposed to be doing as far as getting sacks. He's really struggling for that. Jonathan Taylor, running back. We probably should have traded for him as well, but I think we're going to let him go ahead and let him pass on as well. And then Michael Pittman. We'll re-sign Michael Pittman. Anthony Walker, middle linebacker. I think we're going to let him go. We're not going to re-sign him. Punter, Roberto Sanchez. We can find someone a little bit better than you. Devondre Campbell. T.Y. Hilton. Sorry, man, you're a captain, but you're 74 overall with a normal development trade. Goodbye with you. It's been good. Now, Kenny Moore, 28 overall. He wants a 1-year deal. I think we give this to him. Corners are really hard to find in Madden, and you have to pay them a ridiculous amount of money. So we're going to go ahead and re-sign him. Everybody else will wait to the end of the season to see. Hopefully this team gets together. We got a big game against the Texans. So let's see what happens. See if the Colts can get back into the playoffs and hopefully not have to fight the Kansas City Chiefs when they get in there. Wow, we finished 8-8. We were 5-2 and we finished 3-6. Wow. What happened there? That is interesting. That is crazy. So Carson Wentz threw 30 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, guys. He didn't run the ball well. Tamon Terry had a decent year. Shoehorn didn't really do a whole lot. So, I mean, it was evenly spread as far as throwing the ball. Seems to be good. I don't know. It's weird. Kicking the ball. That's good. I don't know, man. What? So offensive yards, we were 11th in the NFL in offensive yards. Defensive yards were 24th, so our defense fell apart in the second half. Points scored 18. So we're not capitalizing on a lot of those points. Yeah, our defense crapped the bed towards the end of the season. Man, that sucks. We were 5-2 and we didn't get it. Trevor Lawrence wins MVP with a 5-11 record. Justin Herbert finishes second behind him in that category. But Golston wins Offensive Rookie of the Year, our running back. So that's cool to see. And that's it. Man, wow. We're going to give this one more shot. See if we can't get into the playoffs. Because I'm kind of confused. Quentin Nelson wins best offensive linebacker or offensive lineman on why we can't get. Carson Wentz is doing decent, guys. He's doing decent. I mean, we go back and look at his stats since he's been in Indy. I mean, he's thrown 30-plus touchdowns all 3 years. And, I mean, 36-11, 30-20, that was the anomaly. And then he comes back 30-11. I'll take that. If I can have a quarterback who throws 30 touchdowns and around 10 interceptions 3 touchdowns and 1 pick, I'll take that every single time. I mean, almost 4,000 yards over the time. I mean, this was his best season. He threw for over 4,100 yards, 30 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, and he had a 65 completion percentage. So it is definitely not on him. It just seems like Madden simulations are trash. No, it just seems like our defense kind of had a bad run at it at the end at that 5-2. One more go. Let's do it. All right, we got the Bengals and the Buccaneers. So Joe Burrow getting his first run at it. So let's see if he wins. And he does. Joe Burrow wins against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So Devin McCourty does not get he does not get his Super Bowl victory. And did we have anyone on the Colts who retired? And yes, T.Y. Hilton retired. We didn't re-sign him, so he said, I'm done. Now, we've got a last chance to re-sign some of these. Grover Stewart, yes, we're definitely not re-signing you. Jonathan Taylor, you can go to someone else. Is there anyone else here worth re-signing? And it doesn't look like it. I think all those guys, they can go find a job somewhere else. All right, everybody, we re-signed, or not re-signed, but we went out. We're breaking the bank. This is the last year for Carson Wentz in Indianapolis. So we got to try to get him into the playoffs, get him to do a little playoff run, and maybe get him to re-sign to prove to the Colts and the fans that he's worth sticking around for. But Gronkowski, we re-signed him. We're going to get some veteran presence in here. We got Charvarius Ward, to play that slot corner position. We went out and got Akeem Hicks, and we got Bobby Wagner. So we got some big name guys, but some veterans to hopefully get this team into the playoffs, man. We got to get them in there, and hopefully that is what it takes. You see, we're at 85 overall. This is the best overall we've been since doing this resim. So let's continue to advance and see if Colts get into the playoffs with Carson Wentz. All right, so here's our draft class, and probably my least favorite because we just didn't have people that we wanted to get that could help us win right now. But Xavier Garrison can help because currently we only have one running back on our roster. So definitely will help us there. Brian Burnell might help. You never know. Somebody might get hurt. Gronk might get hurt. He is injury prone. And we've got some depth again at the defensive tackle position. There's always like defensive tackles in Madden drafts that are always good. You can always get a first round one. I don't know why. And they're always like a 72, 73. Anyways, everyone else is just depth. And that's really all we got. Nothing exciting, but we are going to do this last season to see what's going to happen with Carson Wentz and the Indianapolis Colts. All right, so here is the team right here. Carson Wentz, Golston, we've got Shoehorn. Offensive line's still looking pretty beastly, if you ask me. I mean, this is a decent, I ain't gonna say beastly, but it's pretty daggone good. I'm happy with it. There's no major additions other than Rob Gronkowski there. And then our backup running back that we got in the draft. But as far as defense goes, this is who we have. We've got Akeem Hicks, Buckner, Malik Hooker's still here. We've got Darius Leonard, Bobby Wagner we added in free agency. And, of course, we've got some bookend corners in Yasin and Kenny Moore. So we're going to fast forward through this, go to the middle of the season. Hopefully it's just as good as last season, but then we finish off strong. We got a good one against Lamar Jackson starting off the season. But let's see what happens with this I keep want to say New England Colts, but it's the Indianapolis Colts. All right, so things are not looking good. We're 3-4 with the Indianapolis Colts. The Titans are 5-3, so maybe we can do the opposite. Maybe we can finish off strong because it seems like this team has not been able to do that. Carson Wentz, again, guys, 14 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. 65 completion percentage. I mean, Golston's running at 3.8 yards a clip, so that's really not going to get it done. So it seems like the line is not really doing a whole lot. Gronkowski's been a good addition. 487 yards at that tight end spot with 5 touchdowns. That's really good. And the defense isn't really doing a whole lot. It looks like offensive yards were 18th in the NFL in offensive yards. Defense were 14th. So again, just middle of the pack. This is just so weird. The points were 9th in the NFL, so we're at least a top 10 in points. Well, points allowed 23rd, so it seems to be our defense. Our defense is not coming through for us currently. And what can you do? It takes a full team effort. And we're going to continue to fast forward this. We got a big one against the Vikings. Then we got the Jags on week 13, so we'll see what happens. Carson Wentz, through 4 years, though, is doing a really good job with the Indianapolis Colts. All right, so how about this? We finish 8-8, and we get into the playoffs somehow. That last wild card spot, maybe. It has to be 8-8, and we're going up against the Kansas City Chiefs, guys, who we went up against that first year. But before we get started, let's look at potentially the stats, or not potentially. We're going to look at these stats. 32 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, guys. This team's solid. I mean, 4,100 yards. Passing, Carson Wentz is doing really good. Golston ran for 1,000 yards. That's the first time we've had a 1,000-yard rusher on the team. Gronkowski had 1,000 yards receiving. I mean, this team is doing 8-8. It has to be the defense, right? That has to be the reason. Kind of 4 guys with 5 sacks there. Not a lot to brag about. 17th in NFL in offensive yards and 19th in defensive yards. So not that good. So it was very, very average. 8-8 record shows that. 12th in points scored, and we're 9th in points allowed. So defense did turn it up here towards the end. Let's look at yearly awards because usually these are already decided. Justin Herbert looks like he's going to take home the MVP. If we go to the AFC, do we have anybody from the Colts? Xavier Garrison, offensive rookie, but he was a backup running back, so I don't really know how he's even in that conversation. But other than that, that looks like Quentin Nelson, once again, the best offensive lineman. That's like 4 years running or 3 years running for him. And yeah, that's it. All right, so we're playing the moments. We're going to try to get the Colts into the playoffs, but we're only going to do it when we need it. So we're going to skip through here and see what happens. If we get behind, it looks like right now it's all tied up in the first quarter. We're going to keep. All right, so Kansas City takes the lead. Our big third down. Let's play this moment and keep the drive alive. We're on the 31-yard line, guys, and we've got. Oh man, we've got a 3rd and 10 situation here. See Golston with that superstar ability. Got Gronkowski in. Does Shoehorn have a... No, he doesn't. Campbell. All right, so this defense is actually pretty set. But there is Gronkowski open over the middle. Dog just tried to bite me. All right, so we're going to see if we can't get this touchdown, tie up the game. Is Gronkowski going to be open over the middle? But nope. Campbell is touched. Oh, he was outside. Didn't get his feet inside. Man, that sucks. That sucks. That was pretty close, wasn't it? Come on. Good throw by Carson Wentz leading the defense. Ooh, we got to challenge that. Got to challenge that, right? Let's challenge the play there and see if we can't get that touchdown, because that looks... Was his foot out of bounds? I mean, guys, that's... They're not going to give him that. We know that. No dice. Let's go with some slants. That sucks, man. In real life, that's a touchdown. Oh, man. There is wide open. He got it down that time. Touchdown, 7-7. Defense needs our help. We're going to skip the moment, see if they can't hold him. They hold him to a field goal. And it looks like, we're down 17-7. All right. We've got 46 seconds here. Let's go. I guess we'll go flood. We got to get down here and at least score a field goal to get. We just got to get some points on the board here. Gronkowski over the middle. Let's keep it going to him there. And we'll do the same play. We're not going to have anything right there. Get your feet. Oh, come on. You gotta go out of bounds. You gotta go out of bounds, but that's okay. All right, so we're 22 seconds. We're on the 44-yard line. We just need a good completion here, and then we will be able to kick a field goal. Now, Horn, can't tell if he has speed or not on that guy. We just have to throw it away. I don't know how that was not intentional grounding, but I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it. So maybe Terry here will be open. Horn over the middle. 16 seconds. We got to get this out. There's someone in the flat. Oh, we had Gronkowski. And we get a flag that stops the clock and moves it up. That is perfect. That is perfect. We'll accept that. We'll kick the field goal. And we'll call it a half at that. All right, so we're going to be up or down by 7. So let's hope that in the second half that the Colts get it done. All right, here we go. Third quarter, big third down, make the stop. Let's do it. They're on the 34. Let's see if we can't get them stopped here. 3rd and 3, man. This sucks. This is a terrible situation for me to play my first game, first play of defense. Got Tyreek Hill over right here. Yeah, look at that. Tyreek Hill. Malik Hooker gets beat, and we're down big. All right, we got to keep this drive alive here. We can score a touchdown. We'll be in a good spot. Man, they covered quick. Now, I am playing all Madden for some of you who do not know. We're down 31-10. This is the game. This is the game. We'll play the moment. I mean, there's really no chance that we make it back. Let's just see if we can't score a touchdown. Gronk over the middle. He drops it, and that's going to be all she wrote, guys. Carson Wentz had a good run at it. He did. He just ran into Patrick Mahomes. It's like running into Tom Brady now. I mean, the guy just couldn't catch a break. And it wasn't on Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz finishes with a pretty daggone good season. 4 years with the Colts. I think if the Colts end up getting Carson Wentz and he throws 30 touchdowns, 10 interceptions every season at about 4,000 yards a season, and gets him to the playoffs twice, I think people will be happy with that. It's more about the defense, I think, and the weapons around Carson Wentz that are going to make or break him. He did have that one season that's 20, so Madness spoke. And Madness said that the Colts are going to get to the playoffs 2 times in 4 years if Carson Wentz ends up going to the Indianapolis Colts. Guys, if you enjoy the content, make sure to like and subscribe down below. It lets me know that you're enjoying everything. You want to see more of these rebuilds, more of these career simulations that I do with other players as things progress. I will do those, and that way you'll stay up to date. I appreciate everybody for watching these. Floopy Donkey out. I'll catch everybody later.